You are banished. You're a dick. You really are banished, though.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Hello Internet, I'm Firebolt, and welcome to Banished. Now, this is a sort of survival management game, which is a bit of a weird thing to say. It's like your town builders and stuff, but instead of you trying to survive financially and just getting loans and stuff, you actually have to get your villagers to mine resources, or go fishing. Especially food becomes a big problem. You can just get diseases randomly. It's a very harsh game. I managed to, I think, in my first playthrough of this game, get to year 6, and then I had a bit of trouble building a bridge because I didn't realise that it was building a bridge because it didn't like have a template for that. It just sort of was like, oh, these people will build a bridge, but then it didn't really show that visually. Anyway, but that's probably me just being an idiot, as per usual with this sort of game. But yeah, this is quite a harsh game, especially winters, because you burn through firewood faster than the UK does with Brexit ministers. Obviously, food's going to become a lot more scarce and you have to store that up and all that jazz. Otherwise, people will freeze to death or starve to death and then you'll die. Bellog's a shit name. We all know the one true Firebolt. This name means that it's doomed to fail unless it's Civ. And I don't really care what the map's seed is because I have no idea what that translates to. Valleys or mountains. Valleys sounds more pleasant. Disasters are on. Not sure what disasters it can be. Okay, medium game begins with 5 families. Clothing, food, firewood, tools and construction materials are provided. A storage barn has already been built. Some seeds for fields and orchards are available. So basically, yeah, as the title suggests, you have been banished with, by the looks of this, 5 families. You have a little stockpile of resources just to get you started, because otherwise it would be suicide and you'd just be trying to make buildings out of, like, by scratch. It would be insane, but it's still pretty difficult, and population does it's one of these balancing act things where you have to oh yeah, this is a show of what can happen to your city. It can just burn down, fires can just start, or you can try and start fires to get rid of diseases, and then everyone does. So right now here, as it's just started winter and I don't have any UI. Oh yeah, I think this is one of the things where you can have just like tabs with all your stuff that you need on here. It's early spring. Okay, so we're not going to die yet. It's not dropping us straight into winter. It's just snowy because it's early spring. Oh, and this is a very important tab as well. Professions, because basically, instead of your townspeople just figuring out what they need to do on their own, you can assign them specific professions. It doesn't really matter who's assigned to what. They don't have like any special talents as far as I'm aware. They can be educated, and that can mean that they can do certain things. It's just basically assign a certain amount of people to this job, otherwise that won't get done. So the basic thing is labourer, which basically means they carry stuff about, but also they'll clear out areas. So basically if you were to say, oh yeah, that'll be here, it makes sense because that's the big chop down things. Oh, you can build production things, which apparently a tavern's a production. Oh, it brews alcohol, of course. But you can just you can remove everything with that, or you can remove specific structures if you just say, oh, I don't like that house being there. By the way, roads are very important. You should get a good road system. I'm not sure if they're absolutely necessary, but they definitely help you move around faster. And obviously you can set like specific things to collect, so that would be wood. Now it's important to make this distinction. This more grey stuff is stone, but I think the black stuff there is iron. First point of action, really, I mean, just clearing an area just for resources for building is probably quite a good place to start, I would say. You can just sort of go remove everything in this area if you want. Now that is going to take some time, but it's a good thing we have 10 labourers to do it. But it means that we'll have plenty of resources for building what we want, and maybe enough to last. But I think you have some basic food piles here as well, just so that you have enough to survive before you start building food production things. But I don't know, maybe eat some wild berries. Who cares if you die? As you can also see from those professions, they are quite varied. Clerics, presumably these people are Christian, they probably add to happiness, or they might do like burials, because obviously people are going to die even if you don't fuck up, so you need a graveyard to keep them in, otherwise whatever they died of might come back to haunt you. And also nobody just wants corpses lying about, unless you're a necrophile. So these will all just go find their own way to what they need to do. They'll also all like auto pick up tools if they need to. I have no idea where these ones are going. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, were you just picking up? I think, yeah, they're all just picking up tools from up there, because apparently the tools are up there. I need to figure out the camera controls. Oh Jesus, that is some sensitive tilting. Whee! You spin me right. Jesus. Sorry if any of you have epilepsy, because your life might have just flashed before your eyes. Who are you? What are you doing? Oh, you're a child. I'll just go play in the stones. I'm sure wolves won't eat you. Ooh, they're actually starting to bloom as well as it's spring. Also, weirdly, they can just remove tree stumps fully. I'm just gonna fast forward through this early stage. Basically, all these guys want houses. I'm not sure if a house is just what it shows as like their most prominent need, or if they have other needs, like they're too cold or they are hungry, that it will show several of them. So hopefully all they need is a house. Oh, and it's just started. I think that's snow, and they'll just start adding to this resource pile. Keep in mind though that this is limited in what it can hold, and also limited in what it already has, but at least you have some tools to get started. And we have a nice clear area to get some of our first buildings down. You can get stone houses, but they're warmer than wooden houses. But what's that? Oh, there's a boarding house, temporary place for homeless people. Well, first of all, let's just get houses. Wooden houses are obviously cheaper in materials because they're just the basic unit. And obviously then, I would say the most important building probably would be your woodcutter, because they're the one that keeps everyone warm. And then you've got food production, which is obviously quite important, but there's quite a few things to do that. I would say relatively near a river, but we're not going to expand out there just yet, so fisherman's probably not our best bet. Hunters, if there's like deer in the area, by the looks of it, yes, there's some nice deer up here. Or gatherers are generally good, although they kind of need to be in a forested area as well, so that they can get access to bushes. Otherwise, they'll have nothing to pick. This is near capacity, so yeah, we should probably definitely start on our first building. Okay, so first thing to do would just be building a dirt road out from here. Just the basic of basic things. Let's just have a nice street. Oh, can we destroy that, please? Do I get any cost for that? I think roads are free. That might be I think that's the construction template for that. Yeah, if it's just a template, I think you can just remove it. That's cool. There we go. So we just got a nice long street here, and then we can have some houses off to the side, and we'll just, yeah, I think, no, these don't actually have to be attached to the road. It's just best if they are, generally. Let's say 3 houses here. There are 5 families, but let's just have 3 houses just to see that we're actually up to the task. Slow it down a bit as well. So we should probably assign some builders as our first thing. 0 of 6. Oh, is that how many people we have left? Oh, right, that's how many people can actually do that profession. So basically, if there's nothing for them to work in, then there's no point assigning people to them. So this is 0 of 0. You can have any number of labourers, but you can only have 6 builders for some reason. I'm assuming you can maybe get more with some like building upgrades, but you know, let's get at least 4 builders. Let's cut down the labourers to 6, because we still need to clear a decent area, but these houses are going to become a priority, and we're gonna get some builders soon, gathering like building tools as well as the resources that we've been gathering. So we've got some iron there, as well as a lot of wood. I think it's called timber in this. Wood is when it's been cut by a wood cutter. And then the stone there is the big blocks. Iron I don't think you need for most things. Stone and wood are the most common things, wood being the absolute most common thing. And then I'm not sure what... Oh, we have our actual resources here. So we stored logs, firewood, food. Food's obviously an important resource. Stored alcohol, probably not the most important resource. We have some stone and some iron, and it started raining. Brilliant. Building extra tools will also be useful, because if people's tools break, then you've got fuck all. Actually, since we're so at capacity, why don't we just build loads of houses here? There we go. 6 houses for 5 families. You'll have plenty. Hopefully they'll start, yeah, it looks like they're laying out the resources first. Yeah, so this one, they're bringing all the resources to it first. And actually, yeah, you could just build, by the looks of this, you can just build structures wherever you want, really. It's just you have to remove things before. So generally having this big clearing, so you're just like, well, I just have this space here, so I don't have to remove things, is quite helpful. So we have actually built some houses here. So that means that now this person has a place to live. Yeah, so this has 3 people in them, presumably quite young husband and wife and their child. But yep, so we got some of the basic houses here first. We should probably, before everything goes to shit, now the most important thing right now maybe isn't, we've got food stores to last us for a while. Maybe right now a woodcutter isn't important, but if we don't get that before winter, we are fucked. 200 firewood is not enough to get us through winter, and to be honest, you kind of need firewood all the time anyway. Let's have this as our main street and have some like offshoots of roads here. We'll have a crossroads here, basically. These are the people that give you extra resources, right? So presumably clothes from the tailor and tools from blacksmith. But then obviously you got quarries, which it's important that you leave enough iron, because it's probably not going to be enough just to get iron from just clearing it, because that'll take too long. Anyway, let's just put a woodcutter here. We now have extra jobs available as builders, so we could maybe have a few more people. But it's okay. This is going at a decent rate, I think. We'll just have... Are the labourers actually doing anything? No, let's just have everyone as builders then. For now, let's just have everyone as builders. Oh, I think you do it. You probably do need some labourers just... At least... just to basically carry some stuff around, just in case we need anything doing and we're just like, oh, now I have to move that over to labourers. What's this? Reserve of firewood is low. This is why it's very important that you get the woodcutter early. I might have actually been a bit late with that. Hopefully though, yeah, these guys are slowly removing their housing icon. Yeah, these guys are now actually freezing, so they could do with some extra firewood. Is that how you make dirt roads? Just by hammering the road? I'm not actually sure. So now that they've gathered all the resources for this, they start building that. It's actually pretty quickly. It goes pretty quickly once you've actually got the resources there. It just takes a while to actually gather them there. I think labourers can help out with that. The next thing to build, because we probably want something else for professions, would be... probably not a skill house. Water for putting out fires. Fires aren't particularly important right now. Yes, so just put someone in the woodcutter position. There we go. And just take the builders down a notch, because it's probably good to just keep 2 labourers around. Not necessarily all the time, but just right now probably. Yes. Remember to click work if you do play this, because if you're not clicking work, then you've got nothing there. Who are you, and why have you got a question mark there? You have no job. Well, your job's a woodcutter. I set that to work. Oh, I disabled that. Sorry, don't click that button, actually. You'll disable the work. It automatically works. That's good game design, except I'm an idiot. Oh, you can get tunnels on obviously bridges, because you can't just walk on water. We'll have a food production thing, I think. Crop fields are big. Gatherer's hut, probably. That should probably be in the woods. We can build a road up to it. It's just... probably best in the woods. They'll have to cut down some things like the trees in the middle of the road, but Gather is probably best in a forest. Stop being cold. You don't have any firewood. Right, the houses that we've already got took out our stockpile of firewood, so that's why we've got a problem. Instead of just like getting it each time they need it, they just have a stockpile in their own home and grab it every now and then. So that's why we don't have any wood right now, and that's why they're very cold, because they're selfish pricks. Do you carry... yeah, you carry that to the house. Okay, well, we may as well have, like, everyone working as builders then. Oh, so we're actually putting people into this job, despite the fact that there's no actual work right now. That would be the problem. So basically, since we were only actually building a gatherer's hut, you can't have 6 people doing that at once. 3's the maximum, so you just get 3 builders at once. So you just balance that with how many things you're building at one time. That might mean that we should probably build some more stuff, I guess. You know what? Yeah, let's have a well. More food production or resource production. How would a mine? Mine's probably a bit advanced right now. Forester definitely could do with that, because timber never stops being useful. Basically what the forester does is you can set that they plant new trees as well as cut them down, obviously, so you don't just run out of materials eventually. Let's just rotate this to face the road. That's to basically mean the fuel limits so that you don't just burn through your logs for construction. But I don't think they're going to be cutting fast enough to do that, so we should be alright. Also should keep an eye on the seasons. Winter is coming and it'll slowly encroach on you, and that's also very important once you get farming, obviously, because yields will be in the autumn and you'll start planting that in the spring, so you need to sort of assign people to that when necessary. This is another one where there's just like, it's like a little lamp farm of people just getting on with their lives, I suppose. So what's people's problem? We don't have any problems per se right now, but right now we're just sort of trying to prevent future problems. How far is this to being built? They're still just gathering some of the resources here. Have we run out of stone? No, but we almost have, and we definitely should get on that. Basically because we're not going to build a mine just yet, and also you need a mine to get extra stone unless you're just going to clear it out like this. So that's basically just to ensure you've got a reliable source of stone rather than just clearing it out of what you can see. Yeah, so we should probably just set collect stone to oh, there's so little stone there, just that area there. We'll probably build a mine there just so that we got some extra stone. Our laborers will go get on with that, and we won't have a problem anymore, hopefully. They're still gathering the resources for our forester lodge. That though has started building. Cool, so we'll have some actual food. Next thing might be a hunting lodge, or whatever that's called, hunting hut probably, just as extra food, and then we might get onto some farming, but it might not be worthwhile because winter is coming, and you know it's best to start that in the spring. But maybe build it ahead of time for the next spring. I do also quite like how the houses kind of have different designs, so it's not just cookie cutter design, so it does actually look like a nice little shanty town, I guess. No one is homeless right now, so I would be using this like for more houses. This is the house street. I mean, we'll have more obviously. What do you, oh, you need someone to fill you obviously as a gatherer. Now you can actually assign more than one person to the gatherer, so you should probably get at least 2 people on that, because food is understandably quite important, and we are running out of our potatoes. I should probably just check the gatherer roots and berries. So I'm assuming that's, it might not be enough for a healthy diet, but fucking hell, it's thundering down. Late summer as well. Some berries might stop growing in the winter, so we should probably get some hunters just so that we have food through the winter. Actually, I don't see why we should keep the hunting cabin away from these guys. This is the forest squad. Oh yeah, they also just go about their daily lives, like they need to get something to eat, and they need to... there's not a day-night cycle by the looks of things, but they will get cold if we haven't got firewood, and they possibly will die. What other stuff could we build in the meantime? Schoolhouse as a place for children to be whilst everyone else is getting on with their lives, not bad. Might not be the main priority. Diseases, yes. Hospital, what do you need to function? You probably need a herbalist to function. Yeah, let's just have a herbalist for some basic diseases first, because you'll need to gather the herbs. I'm presuming they don't have very advanced medicine right now. Reserve of stone is running low again. It's just because we're building stuff, I suppose. Stone is not used, I think, in like day-to-day things. That's why wood is so important, because it's used to burn for warmth. But so the hunting lodge is there. Herbalist, I suppose you'll need to clear out some area for these guys, but yeah, sure. I mean, we're eventually just going to cut out a little path to it anyway, just by building so many forest buildings there, but whatever. Important to note, your adult to child ratio can be quite problematic, because basically children do shit all. Also important thing, I believe, yeah, all the children aren't educated, all the citizens are, which means that they can do stuff like being a physician or a teacher. Certain roles require school education at least. I think woodcutters and foresters maybe can get away with not doing that, but we should probably start educating people. And we're running out of food. Running out of food's quite a problem. Okay, well there's not really anything we can do about this. This just needs... It's got everything it needs, actually. Oh, that's a forester lodge. That's not going to help us get food. We're getting food from the gatherers now, hopefully. Oh, there's a log of events here. We should probably also keep that open. Yeah, so child's been born. A lot of people being born. A lot of fucking going on. Do not approve of that. We're running out of food already, but... I mean, if you don't survive through winter, at least you got a better chance of survival, I suppose. Yeah, build a schoolhouse so that we actually have educated... people, so that we don't have a shortage of adults in the future that are uneducated, so that when these little shits actually grow up, and also it just keeps them out of the way, I suppose, because they're all just congregating around this well. Suspicious. Increase priority to the whole building. Or can you not increase priority to that? That feels weird. I think that might just be for like resource removal then. How have they not started on construction? They need one more log, which is where our forester... we need someone to do our foresting. Get 2 foresters. We only need 1 labourer, right? Just get that down to 4. So you can't just set this at one time. You need to constantly be moving these people around. I'm not sure if they like professionalise. I would suspect some of the more complicated jobs like tailors, brewers, blacksmiths, physicians would maybe like... I think it's just the fact that they've got a school education. I think anyone can do that job. Not in the real world, obviously, but these guys are kind of fighting for their survival. It's early autumn now. Keep an eye on that, because otherwise we'll be screwed come winter. Oh, this has started building as well. Having a hunting cabin there will mean that we do definitely have more food. Possibly building too many things at once is a bit of a drain on both the time of your builders and of resources. Just assign... someone to be a hunter. Let's have 1 tentatively. Just actually 2 probably. Just put that down to... Yeah, that should be fine actually. So these guys will all be trying to produce as much food as possible just so that we don't all starve to death. How nice of them. Oh, you can follow people. That sounds bad out of context. Yeah, so this person's picking up resources. What's your job, by the way? Oh, you're a builder. I should have saw that from the bottom. It said Emma the Builder. Wonder what your job is. Oh, and they also have what their tool is. So you can possibly get better tools than iron, maybe. But I'm assuming if all your normal tools break, then... and you haven't got a blacksmith, we should get onto that if tools become a problem. Might not in this video. Also feeling a bit more comfortable with the ratio of adults to children now. If that gets too... If there's more children than adults, then generally that becomes a problem, because you're just trying to feed the little shits whilst they grow up, and they're doing fuck all. For our labourers, our 2 labourers, just get some resources from over here. Temperature might start becoming a problem. It's now mid-autumn. Winter will be upon us soon. Just gonna set them to remove some resources up there, just so that we have some extra stone, and they'll probably cut down a few trees whilst they're doing it. That's fine. Oh, that's started being built. That's nice. So they've gotten the stone gathered, and that's also started being built. Cool. Next thing, I guess, maybe a farm? Town hall's useful for census data apparently, but right now that's not a priority. Water's actually not very far, so if we actually just build a little path up to here, why not get a fishing dock? Oh, it has to be like pretty... Oh, right. It has to be placed like that. Pretty much that part on the water, but that part... There we go. Oh, no, here we... Oh, this is going to be awkward, isn't it? Oh my god, this is a... There we go. Think I got it. Nice. Oh, we'll need a teacher as well, won't we? We'll just have 1 teacher. I think that should be... I mean, we don't have a lot of adults to go around. We can maybe take someone off one of the food production things. I'm not sure what will happen. What's our firewood supply like? 100, we are going to be fucked. But we've not hit our fuel limit, so they'll keep working as fast as they can, and there's not really anything else I can do, to be honest, other than provide them logs faster. It is now late autumn. We are getting dangerously close to winter. I probably would usually prepare quite well for the first winter. My first game, which I can't remember if everyone died. I don't think they did. I think I got to like year 6 or something and managed to survive. just about, and I was expanding quite well, and then bridges got the better of me. Oh, you can prioritize this. There we go. So we can have 2 herbalists if we want to. I'll just have 1. And do we need that many builders? Probably. And we'll probably need that food for winter. Sure, let's just... Fine, we'll take down 1 builder because we're going to need someone for a teacher as well, aren't we? But hopefully some of these people actually grow up. Ooh, yeah, that events log, I should probably actually just keep that here just so we have this ready here just so that we know what's happening. You can get here markets which are good for just it's a good place for citizens to actually collect their food. I think there's probably an exchange of money going on, but you don't have any information about that. Temperatures are getting to sub-zero in terms of Celsius right now, so I really hope you got enough firewood to last. We've actually increased our firewood since winter start. Oh, it's not actually started yet. Great. Yeah, so with this we should have at least some herbs to keep people at least a little bit healthy. At this point in the game, if someone dies, that's actually quite a big hit to your production, obviously, because that's 1 less person to do something. I'm just thinking just in terms of professions, because we're going to soon have too many people, or too many professions to go around, people to have 2 in a few of the slots at least. Yeah, we should probably keep a steady income of logs in. Yeah, I was just thinking, oh, maybe we could cut down on the foresters. That should be fine. No, I would cut down maybe on the hunters. You have to think long term with this as well, because the first winter is maybe going to be all right. We are burning through firewood, Jesus Christ. I swear you've changed who's a woodcutter, but I think they do go on cycles. And have you nearly finished with the school? Yes, you have. Okay. Who's building this? Oh, you're finding someplace warm. Oh, you're going to visit the herbalist. That's nice to know. So she's lost a little bit of health. She wants to go visit the herbalist. But they'll eventually build that, I suppose. That is the problem of having 2 builders. If they're busy doing something else, and things can take a while to build. Especially this fishing dock over here, which will probably be more useful for you know, spring, by the time they probably get around to that. Speaking of spring, maybe should get a farm going on here. You can just set up a crop field. You don't actually need like a farm house or anything. So you know what? Nice big, oh that's too large. Nice big open space here. Why not just have a crop field there? So we need at least, oh we can only have 1 teacher anyway. 1 labourer should be alright, I suppose. And they're still set to clear some of that area there, so they've got plenty to do. That 1 labourer. But I should maybe take someone off one of these roles when I get like farmers and stuff. But to be honest, like once I get farmers, that's quite a nice supply of food. Farmed food's probably going to be better than gathered food, so having a potato is probably better than having roots and berries. Roots and berries is just the obvious easy thing that doesn't necessarily require on the seasons, although I'm pretty sure some berries are more sensitive to the seasons. Really hope you're getting on with that firewood, and it looks like you're cutting down that child. If overall health does become a problem, not sure if we're going to get to this in this video. Hospital wouldn't be a bad idea, and you know what, something to aim for by the end of this video. Let's get a town hall, because that's sort of like, oh, you've actually made this a town. You're not just a group of disparate people making some huts. Although these are very advanced huts. We got some teachers here to get people educated ahead of time. Who's working here, by the way? Yeah, you're educated. I would assume that's a requirement for a teacher, but it might just make do if there's no one educated available. By the way, what have we gotten is, you should probably get some extra storage as well, eventually. Yeah, we got some nice venison in there. Well as mushrooms, berries, onions. We've pretty much ran out of potatoes by this point, actually. Unless all the potatoes are in houses. Yeah, they are. But they've got a nice selection of food. Venison's actually quite a posh meat, I think. So, a bit unusual that we've got that. But I suppose if deer's what's available, then we're not going to get cows out, are we? Yeah. So the forest is probably making this look a bit more... Actually, to be honest, winter's probably what's making this look sparse. The forest just cut down some wood, but I doubt they're cutting down all of it. Oh, this just needs actually... This crop field's actually fine as long as you just remove what's on it. So I'm assuming someone will come to that eventually. You can set specifically, oh, this builder does this thing. They're just bringing all the logs and stone to this. So it's not 1 log at a time, actually. They bring it in a big bundle. That's good to know. Otherwise that would take forever. Oh, hang on, what we've run out of. Food, that's not good. We've got 202. We'll survive, maybe. What else are we running low on? Logs, that's also very bad to run low on because that means firewood's about to run out. Our one labourer, please get on this shit. Oh, you're going over there. Harvest trees over here. We need a clear space anyway. It's a balancing act because would actually bring in more food. Actually, only if I could fill it with people with professions, but from fishing. But it needs logs to build, which you need to survive through winter. So it's just sort of like, don't overbuild on one type of thing. You need to have resource production, food production, and you need to keep that up so it works for the population you've got. Because if you're building too fast, then your population just won't be able to handle it. And you'll have a million things for food, but then there's not actually enough people to fill those roles, so there's fuck all. I failed to show you how harsh winter can be, but we've made it. We did a lot of preparation beforehand, but if you don't prepare at all, then you're fucked, basically. Might just build... probably not a good idea to start building houses now if we're running out of logs. Yeah, probably just build the fishing dock. You can move out of your parents' house later. Yeah, this has just got, presumably, a father and their child. So, yeah, so is this. So we got plenty here. Although, for some reason, you just shoved 5 people into one house. Yeah, I'm presuming the oldest there... Jesus, you start work at 11. Okay, well, yeah. They're also a child of these two, probably. Yeah, Mylene becomes an adult. Wouldn't exactly call that an adult, but it's the ambiguous hundreds. Oh yeah, we're kind of building this crop field, just no one's bothered to remove these. Both our workers are on this, so... And they're probably busy trying to keep warm. Important thing to also remember about winter is, like I kind of just briefly showed, let people get on with their daily lives, and part of the thing in winter is they're obviously going to be a lot colder, so they're going to want to go inside a lot more often. You're not going to be as productive as you normally would, basically. Not sure what the children really do aside from just, oh, you're visiting the herbalist. We'll maybe get a town hall in production because I want to be wrapping up soon. I have an idea. Oh, we can't really build it there. Oh well, let's scrap the idea anyway. It doesn't have to be at the center of everything, it can just be off here. There we go. Town hall. Boom, shaka, laka. Oh, I've just realized I've done all the arrows like one space away from the road. That means for OCD's sake, I'm just gonna have to build loads of tiny little dirt roads in here. But I guess it's kind of cute as well. So it's not just like, oh, we're all packed along this really narrow road, really close to each other. We got our own little pass here. We got actually plenty of firewood right now, that's really good. Yeah, they've still got a general order, the labourer, just to go and go mine stuff when you can be bothered, but we've got actual, like, people with jobs to do that. Oh, and it's looking like green is finally returning. Nice. That means that farm might actually get started. Oh, and obviously you can build, like, upgrades of stone roads and stuff like that. Boarding house. We've got no homeless people right now, so we can just keep that at the houses. And to be honest, I'm wrapping up this video soon. That's probably more of a long-term thing for when you got loads of people about doing loads of things, and they're fucking a lot, so there's new people coming about. We are finally into early spring. That might mean once this actually gets removed, which I don't know when that's going to happen, because they're still building this. Let's get 3 builders, come on. But let's have at least 1 labourer, because, reasons. We'll take 1 off the gatherer, maybe. Oh, that actually needs iron as well, because it's a very advanced thing, obviously, the town hall being... Oh, this is the big thing to show that you've actually made it as a town. All of us being Christian, probably should have gotten, like, a chapel before all this, but... what does that specifically do? Happiness and a place of meeting, right? Basically something for people to do to pretend that they're not skiving off work. And obviously I think, yeah, that's like 1 town hall for all, but then you got as many wells and chapels as you want. There's nothing to stop you from building 1 million wood, well, 1 million probably wouldn't fit in it, but there's nothing to stop you from building loads of woodcutters if you're really worried, especially with bigger towns, of you not meeting that quota for winter. But the reason that you have that fuel limit is probably just so that you don't burn through all your logs whilst you're building up a stockpile for the next winter. So this has just reached its fuel limit, meaning our woodcutter now has zilts to do. What does the woodcutter do when picking up wood resources, but that's reached its fuel limit? So what does the woodcutter do once they've actually fulfilled their role? I'm going to keep them as a woodcutter because if people use firewood, then it's always useful to have extra. Or are you just loading up the next set of logs? Oh, by the looks of it, you're actually going to help out with buildings. That's nice to know. So basically people that have reached their fuel limit just go and gather up resources for buildings, or maybe just start building themselves. Seriously, what is the person who's meant to be building this doing? You're picking up resources. I'm not sure if assigning people to it actually really helps, but I'm just gonna fast forward it at this point so that I'm not waiting for ages for stuff to happen, because at this point you're not worried so much about survival, you're just sort of things are gonna happen. Are you all going off up there? Oh, some of the builders I think are actually gathering extra resources, because then obviously they can't actually build stuff. Work is disabled right now. So we need to set a plant here, basically. We got cabbages or pumpkins. Cabbages are probably more, I don't know, get a bit spoopy with some pumpkins, sure, whatever. So we need to have some farmers, obviously. Oh, and you have to actually set where that harvest is, because you need to get the best yield there as well. We'll need to probably cut down the builder. Farmers are pretty useful, so let's just keep them around. We'll cut down builders and hunters for that. Foresters, I'm just going to keep around, because you can never have too many logs. Well, let's just raise the fuel limit. Not 500, Jesus Christ, just 300, just so that the woodcutter has something to do, and we have a bit of an extra stockpile for winter. Why aren't these dead yet? Our huntsman is clearly not doing a good job. Or it might actually be a huntwoman, I'm not sure. Huntwoman, yes. Resource of logs is low. We have 2 foresters though. Oh, we'll get logs back. That's why you set a fuel limit. Cool. Let's just keep that at 200 then. Oh, that might be... we started building this fishing dock properly. Cool. It does take a while to gather the resources in the first place, because, well, there's issues with them not actually being available and people competing for that, but then it's just sort of, oh, when can you be bothered? Because I think the labourer does some of that, and if you only got one labourer, then you can't really do anything. But once it's actually gotten to the building phase, then it's normally relatively quick, I think. Oh, that will mean we'll need a fisherman. We could maybe drop one of the farmers for that. Is there anyone that needs to, like, a mayor for the... No, there's no mayor in the town hall. I think that's just for census data, so that you know who's what and what they're doing, basically. So we just need to set someone to work there, and that means that I don't think the rivers freeze over. That can basically work all year long. These guys should have also started... Yes, they're starting to work the fields there. 1 fisherman in there, and 1 farmer. Yeah, okay. Because we need at least 2 builders, I think. 1 farmer should be alright for this field. It's a relatively small field. We'll see. Farms are actually pretty important. They have a very good yield. Well, it depends how you time it, but generally time that for autumn, obviously. But obviously in late spring it's going to have fuck all yield, because nothing's going to grow yet, so no point going, oh, it's like 5% of the way there right now, but no. Reserve of food is low, but we've got loads of foodie people coming about. The market does very much become useful. I mean, right now the storage barn is sort of the hub, because it obviously stores everything, but it's quite useful to have a market just so that you got one central place where everyone can get their stuff, and it's a lot more fluid, I think. As well as there being a potential for, like, money and trade. Not sure, I think traders do actually trade with, like, other towns. Oh, someone's become a student. So I'm assuming they reach a certain age. Yeah, 1 student. At 10 they become a student. So actually, right, so if they don't become educated, then they start work at 10. So it might actually be if you want more workers, then you have to... so we have a ratio of students there actually as well. So once they become 10, they start become a student and professionalize and like a blacksmith or something. Which we're not going to get to this in this video, but anyway. You haven't removed that tree yet. This is going very slowly. What are our builders doing? You're in the middle of the forest picking up resources. Oh, were you maybe just picking up the logs straight from where they're, like, dropped off at the forester lodge? That might be the problem. So just gonna speed it up whilst I wait for this to be built, I suppose. Look at the little lands go, and we'll start clearing out a new area here for new houses if we really want them. Reserve of logs is low, that'll fix itself, right? Reserve of stone is also low. That's probably just because we're building stuff. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of log and stone to do with this, and iron. So we're just gonna put everything here. Lorist was born as well. I think it is... it's not just the builders actually gathering for this. That might be part of a problem, actually, is that the foresters aren't always cutting down trees or planting trees. They're actually helping out with building projects as well. We got as many logs as we need. We need a lot more stone. We got all the iron we need. How are we doing for stone, by the way? By the looks of it, we have no stone. So that low resources doesn't actually just stay around. That's a worthwhile thing to know. Just quickly go mine something, please. Load of stone here. Nice and close by. They'll go mine that when they need it, and then the builders will probably help because they need the stone, don't they? It's already autumn. If you play this on fast motion, then winters do come around fast. I hope we're not spending too... It's important not to spend too much of your logs trying to build like 2 big projects as well. So if you're building a town hall, there's a reason there's only one of those, is because it takes a fuck ton of time to build and a fuck ton of resources. You need to sort of start that in spring so that you have the logs left at the end of it for our firewood. Although we've got a stockpile of it right now. We've stocked up on firewood, and a few more people have been born. We've currently got a population of, what's that, 22. Oh, and our pumpkins are beginning to look like they're actually here. We're running out of food as well. In early winter. Shite. Did I not harvest this at the right time? Oh, I think this is set to... Right, you need multiple people to be working this. It is actually a pretty big field. Reserve of food is low again. But it's coming and going. This winter isn't actually that harsh. Not had too much snow, it's just been quite rainy. So we're actually going to survive this winter, and I didn't even really notice it coming up. I was really foreshadowing that original one. Winters can be pretty harsh when you've got like diseases and stuff. But I've been quite lucky, I think. Now early spring of year 3. If you just play this in 10 times speed, it's a lot quicker, obviously. That's kind of redundant to say, isn't it? Although I think I've gathered all the resources I actually told those people to go gather. So just go gather this bit here. There we go. You have something to do now. Another child's been born. Stop having kids. I mean, probably keep having kids because it's kind of important for the future of our town. But stop having useless babies. Although the ratio's alright still. And we got some students here, so they'll be alright. And we really quickly recovered our stockpile of firewood as well. So if you keep your population relatively low, then you're probably alright. Might just build another house or 2 here, although they're probably not going to get built in this episode. Oh, and our town hall's actually started being built. Come on, let's build this town hall. Yeah, well, oh, here we go. Oh, it's a stone structure as well. So obviously, like, I'm not sure if you can upgrade these, by the way. Oh yeah, you can totally upgrade these. Cool. As well as, I think you can just sort of paste over the roads with stone roads if you want to. Dirt roads, you don't need anything for. That requires stone, and that requires wood and stone for the wooden bridges, and then you need more stone for tunnels, because supports are obviously expensive, and food's also low again. Now let's keep an eye on this, so let's harvest it when we actually need to in the autumn, because we kind of missed the actual yields for the summer here. Oh, our town hall's been built, by the way, but just hang on. So let's just play this at normal speed just for a sec. We've got all our census data here. Overview, year 3, so late summer. We got all that information here, but more specifically the locations of all our... so we got, like, if you start building lots of buildings, and you can go to this thing. Go to all our gatherers' huts. What else do we get here? We get our inventory. That's nice to know. We got not a lot of berries. I'm running out of stone. We haven't got any fish. Has everyone just taken the fish already? And we got the graphs of our population here, so it's been gradually increasing, obviously. Children's gone up and down. We've decreased it, fortunately, and students have definitely gone up. We've had no new adults for ages, though. Oh, if we do that for 5 years, then it's really obvious there. Oh, we've had some adults, though. There are no nomads. You can actually get nomads here, as well as trade items. So we have pecan seeds, pumpkin seeds, and cabbage seeds. I haven't quite missed autumn, no. Cool. I'll just let this yield, and then I'll end the video, because when this yield is actually quite important for food, and that's why we started running out of food. If you have a high population when you start running out of food, then people begin to die. This is it, 90, early autumn. It started to decrease. Let's harvest it. I'm going to end it there. It's not something to scoff at is we made a nice little town here. Obviously towns around about this time would be quite hard to actually build, but we made a nice little neat town in about 3 years. Obviously you can get blacksmiths because tools do wear down, and students become quite useful because then you can get extra teachers, and we got 9 students right now. As well as you need more firewood, and then you get more houses, and then you start trading with the outside world as well, which is also pretty cool. And also probably getting stone cutters and miners, it would be quite useful. Not at least to sing the Simpsons thing. They are running out of food. They don't have any food. Well, we'll leave that for when I do this on my own. Anyway, I'm gonna end it there because little sneak secret, I'm going to see the midnight premiere of Endgame in the UK. Whew. And we have to leave in like 20 minutes, so gonna end it there. Anyway, yeah, so this is a nice little one of those little management games again, but this has an unusual survival element when the survival isn't about food, it's a balancing act of wood and stone and food, all that jazz. If you don't have that, then people die. I mean, if you don't have stone, people don't necessarily die, but you can't build things to help people live. So it's a lot more resource heavy, and these people are running out of food already. I don't think that's a good relationship there, but who cares, it's probably the 1300s or something. Don't really know why I got this, but it's actually got quite useful information on how much we produce and use in a year. Yeah, so we produce a bit more food than we use in a year, so that's useful to just keep a track of what's actually the problem here. We just produce more food than fuel than we use in a year. But anyway, yeah, I said I was going to end it here. Yeah, it's another one of those nice little management things, except it's a lot less clean and it's a lot more brutal, especially when you get into diseases, which fortunately the plague hasn't hit us in this video. Anyway, I'm going to end because I think...
I'm going to make a pun and say, it's time to end game.
Okay, bye. I've been Firebolt and this has been Banished. I was wrapping up anyway.
Sorry, I waited for an opportune moment to do that.
How long were you waiting?
Only a few minutes because I've been having a quick nap because I was wanting to leave in about 10 minutes so that we can nip via Tesco and pick up some
Snacks.
eye drops
Eye drops, okay.
and possibly